It may be a sign of things to come for one well-known Buffalo construction company. From trucks to cranes, all kinds of things, LPCiminelli is going to auction off 2,000 pieces of construction equipment next Tuesday. You may remember last year, Louis Simonelli, the CEO of that company, was indicted in a federal probe of the Buffalo billion contracts. The company could not be reached for a comment on any of this today. Well, if you're looking to maybe change up your career, here's an opportunity for you. Panasonic is going to host a job fair at the Buffalo Niagara Convention Center today. It runs from 5 until 8 p.m. Panasonic representatives will be there for interviews every half hour. The Buffalo Niagara International Airport welcoming a brand new airline to the terminal today. The airport will celebrate the arrival of Frontier Airlines. The ceremony begins at 1 o'clock this afternoon. They'll have an official ribbon cutting at Gate 11 for the first flight. We'll have much more on this story coming up later on today, beginning on 7 Eyewitness News at 5 o'clock. 3 local organizations have some new wheels today thanks to all the good work that they do here in our community. The Western New York Ford Dealers Association awarded those organizations with a brand new van. The ceremony was held this morning inside the KeyBank Center here downtown. This is all part of the Ford Friendship Express program. The organizations receiving the vans are the Hearts and Hands, Camp Good Days and Special Times, and the SPCA of Niagara County.
It's an amazing day. We're really excited to have been recognized for our efforts in the community, for being a no-kill shelter. This is going to be instrumental in continuing in our mission and helping animals throughout Niagara County.
The Ford Friendship Express program is now in its 21st year. Still to come here on 7 Eyewitness News at noon today, raging wildfires again threatening even more homes in Southern California. We'll have the latest. Also, UPS already hitting a delivery snag with the holiday shopping season now in full swing.
Looking for a holiday gift for that person who has everything? Here's an idea that you might want to consider.
Here's what's happening on Wall Street business-wise. Midweek, the Dow Jones Industrial Average down by 4.5 points so far. The Nasdaq is up by 7.5, and the S&P 500 is pretty much unchanged. The Senate Banking Committee has now approved President Trump's selection of Jerome Powell to become the next chairman of the Federal Reserve. The vote from the committee is seen as an indication now that Powell will have no trouble winning approval from the full Senate, but that vote has yet to be scheduled. 4 separate wildfires have forced evacuation orders again for more than 150,000 people who live in Southern California. The intense flames are being fueled this week by gusty wind out there. More than 200 homes and other buildings have already burned to the ground. The latest on the situation now from ABC's Marcy Gonzalez.
A new fire raging in Los Angeles along the 405, closing down part of the major freeway. One of several wildfires burning in Southern California today.
Mandatory evacuation due to the fire.
The Thomas Fire in Ventura County scorching more than 55,000 acres so far. At least 150 homes and buildings damaged or destroyed, 12,000 others still at risk.
It's just devastating. This was going to be my die-in house. The only thing is the house died before I did.
The Thomas Fire so far forcing more than 27,000 people to evacuate.
The flames were so big and we just packed up and everybody's gone.
150,000 others forced to evacuate in LA County, where the creek fires charred more than 11,000 acres. Dozens of homes there gone. Ferocious Santa Ana winds and dry conditions fueling and spreading the flames, sparking a state of emergency.
Something blew over, caught the palm trees on fire. When the palm trees caught on fire, it just started.
Firefighters desperately trying to save houses engulfed in flames. One, overcome by heat, collapsing in the street. Some residents staying behind to help with the firefight.
It's something that I never wanted to see. It's a terrible feeling.
To give you an idea of just how unpredictable these flames are, you can see this house destroyed. The one right next door, just a few feet away, untouched. And then across the street, another house burned almost entirely to the ground. These strong winds that are making these fires so difficult to contain are expected to continue for at least the next few days. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Sylmar, California.
Here's the latest from UPS today. Deliveries are being delayed a little bit following an unexpected surge from online orders over the Thanksgiving weekend. The package delivery company expects to return to normal operations with fewer delayed shipments by the end of the day today. About 400 workers have been reassigned to sorting facilities and delivery routes around the country, and the company has rented more trucks to deal with the increased deliveries. Airlines say just over 50 million passengers are expected to travel this holiday season. That marks about a 3.5% increase over last year. Extra flights are being offered to meet the demand, especially between December 15th and the 4th of January. Here's what we're working on, all new, coming up tonight for 7 Eyewitness News at 5 o'clock. If you have any packages on the way to your home this holiday season, we have an important alert to make sure that those packages don't get stolen. Our consumer reporter will show us some simple ways to keep those porch pirates away from your home so you don't waste your money. Join us for the story later on this afternoon on 7 Eyewitness News at 5 o'clock. Meteorologist Autumn Lewandowski back now tracking that 7 First Alert most accurate forecast as we continue to wait for that snow to show up.
We are tracking 7 Super Doppler. We've been tracking it through the overnight. We had some dry air build in, and now we're watching it drift a little further to the south. And now, for lake effect snow, you need a couple of different things. 1, you need a warm lake. We got that. 2, you need some good wind directions. We got that. But you also need some moisture, and we didn't have it for a long time as we went throughout the early morning hours. Also, the winds, them getting stronger and having higher wind gusts doesn't really help us either, but we are getting the act together for lake effect. It's occurring. 35 degrees right now, southwesterly winds, 28 miles an hour. Some gusts are going well higher than that, and once we make our way throughout the rest of the day, we had a couple people asking, when are we going to see these winds calm down? It's not going to be through the day today. Wind gusts near Niagara Falls going up to almost 45 miles an hour. Buffalo was near 40 miles an hour just a short time ago. and a little bit less as you head down across the southern tier. But we are still dealing with these southwesterly winds. They'll become a little more westerly as we go into the afternoon, and we'll show you what that's going to do in just a second. There are a few different warnings and advisories in place. One, the winter weather advisory for northern Erie and also Genesee County. That's going a little bit later this afternoon as this band gets its act together. The warning, lake effect snow warning, is going into effect a little bit later than that as this band starts to drift south and into early Friday. So we'll talk about why we have those in place as well. As we widen out the view, we've been watching lake effect across the Great Lakes from Superior to Huron, everyone in between, and Erie. Well, now we're finally getting there, and it's all because some upper layers of the atmosphere are finally bringing in some moisture. We haven't had it. Now, where you see these pinks, these pretty pinks, that's going to help get moisture in here and allow us to see lake effect coming in off of Lake Erie. And that's what's happening right now. We started to see it around 10:30, 11 o'clock, and now it's getting its act together a little bit better. Still not a great looking lake effect band, but it's looking a little more impressive than it even was about a half an hour ago. Now, what we see coming in, that's going to be just south of Buffalo. Going into the next 20 minutes, half an hour. So Lackawanna, you're going to be right along Route 5 as well. West Seneca out to Lancaster, Cheektowaga. We're going to be finding some accumulating snows. There won't be much, but we are going to continue to see it fall as we head into the afternoon and watch this band meander across western New York. And we'll show you where that's going to be. With temperatures in the 30s and these winds again going a little further westerly, we'll see it start to drift south as we head into the evening. Hour by hour, we're going to find the band moving northward into the middle of the afternoon. That's going to graze across Buffalo, our north towns, out to Newstead, Albion as well. Drive home, we're going from Buffalo right along 20A, Alden out to Batavia. We're going to find areas to the south, then dealing with it into the evening. Now that's going to be the Boston Hills, and we're drying things out a little bit before we get into early Thursday, where it will be setting up down across the southern tier. So what does that mean as we go throughout the rest of the day today? We've been finding little to no accumulations for the noon hour. Obviously, we haven't had it really begin to intensify. This will be the case going into the afternoon. So we'll see still that 1 to 3 inch mark. You go to Cheektowaga, a little further to the east, and then you go just from about Alden to Batavia, potentially that 4-inch mark, and a little bit less as you go down 28, probably 3 inches or so for Orchard Park. By the time we go through tonight, I was mentioning that band pushing a little further south, the Boston Hills. We'll see a few inches by early tomorrow morning, and then this band will start to push further south through the day on Tuesday. So we'll probably see additional 6 inches or so for the hilltops as we go into our Thursday afternoon. It's going to be southern tier snow for Thursday. Temperatures near 32 degrees and partly sunny skies outside of that lake effect band. We continue with lake effect on Friday. That's going to bring up another inch or so through Buffalo. Cold temperatures through the upcoming weekend and into the teens for next week. You're watching 7 Eyewitness News at noon. We'll be right back.
I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do.
He only received 2 Grammy nominations, but Ed Sheeran is quite popular with the streaming crowd these days. Spotify now says he's the most streamed artist of the year. Sheeran had 6.3 billion streams in 2017. He also has Spotify's biggest album of the year. All right, let's see what Howard's up to today in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Let's take a look.
Every year around the holidays, there are always a few kitchen appliances that make it on everyone's wish list. This year, one that's hugely popular is the air fryer. For those of you who aren't familiar with an air fryer, think of it as a compact tabletop oven with a fan that circulates hot air around the food. It's similar to a convection oven as it cooks about 25% faster than a conventional oven. And since the air circulates around the food, everything cooks evenly. When it comes to shopping for an air fryer, there are a few things to consider. First, what size should you get? The smaller ones are good for college students or couples, while the larger ones are big enough to roast a good-sized chicken, which makes them family-friendly. Next, should you get one with all sorts of bells and whistles, like preset controls and digital timers? Or will a basic control panel do the trick? Whichever model you choose, you're gonna want a few good recipes to try in it. So how about starting with our not-fried chicken cheese balls? We've tested these in lots of different models, and boy, are they good. To get the recipe, simply visit our website. And yes, we also have the directions on how to cook these in your regular oven too. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a tasty gift-giving way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.